What's up, guys? All right, sorry about that. Some of you. Sorry, hold on a second. So this is Anon. None of this is financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And what's up, Drake? What's up, Types with Teeth? All right, so some of you got to join in on the Discord thing. I basically can't figure out how to. I'll have to go and do this when I have time tomorrow and try to figure out how to like get YouTube and OBS and Discord to all match up. But in the meantime, at least hopefully you guys got to jump on the Discord and listen to those guys. And I'm not getting paid by them or anything. It's just a matter of I just thought it'd be good and interesting to talk to people who are on the other side, people that were from Wall Street that can kind of let us know what's going on the other side of the trade desk. So, yeah. So, did you guys enjoy that, or wait? I think it had a limit of 25 on the Discord. Oh, we only had 25 people on there. No, there was like at least like 50 on there. I think. He said the F word, so I trust him. Yeah, I mean, these guys are actually they're younger than I am, but they're obviously really really sharp. So I think Alec, if I remember correctly, he went through and started and passed like stuff that normally people have to study years for. He just was like, okay, well, if this thing's going to cost us a ton of money, I'll just go do the test myself. So he literally knocked out a huge amount of regulatory testing that normally you would have to pay a ton of money, and just knocked it out. It was like, yeah, no big deal. I'll just go do it. Like things that people study years for. So obviously smart guys, and the fact that they're this young starting a brokerage, I think that's a cool thing. So I actually knew Adam, and then I contacted him because I saw he had, on his LinkedIn, he said he started a brokerage, and I was like, wait, what? I need to talk to you. So let's zoom in on some of this stuff so we can take a look at what's going on here. Somebody was asking to... Wait, what happened there? I thought we were gonna get a big move out of BBIG. Is that... Didn't they have their thing today? Or did they not? I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Okay, let's go through and catch up to the chat. So, Drake said, "What's up? What's up, Anon? What's up, Drake? Types with Teeth, yo. Tom, welcome back. Sorry, yeah, I know, Tom, you're banned from the Discord. I don't know if you wrote the mods, but like I said, I leave it up to the mods to basically do. I've actually never banned anyone in the Discord. It's kind of like a weird thing for me, but I let other people kind of do that stuff. And all right, so Dan K, what's up, man? That was really cool. Well done putting that together. Thanks. I mean, I think we should talk to those guys on the regular. Let's find out how all this stuff works. The sound wasn't that good in Discord. Okay. What we'll do is we'll figure out a way of making this work better. Maybe we'll use a different platform instead of Discord. I wanted to give them a chance to use their screens, and we didn't do that. So maybe next time we'll get them on a different platform and we can do this better. What's up, D? What's up, Hothead? All right. So what are we supposed to be doing? We're supposed to be looking into stocks because we had a kind of regulatory / how all the sausage is made kind of thing earlier, and we need to kind of take a look at the rest of this stuff. So let me see if I can get some of this going. Okay, so we do this here. And we'll go ahead and, you know what I need to do? YouTube, right? Go to YouTube, put it on Twitter. Our normal stuff. Alright, here we go. So, we need to take this link here and post it into Twitter. I have to put the $ signs on each one of them, because that's how Twitter works, apparently. Man, I am messing this all up. I'm putting hashtags where $ signs are supposed to be. Alright, so what were we doing? We're looking up stock tickers. We got to talk to Smart Money, or former Smart Money that started a brokerage. And let's see. There we go. Let me catch up on the chats. Yeah, Hanon is a grandpa with tech. I totally am. You know, it's funny because I feel like I'm pretty tech savvy until like I didn't spend a whole lot of time prepping for that. Obviously, I was putting my kid down, and then I was running late on that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna run down, and so. All right, so this is like the after party of the Discord. Can we just do ASMR? I'll talk to you guys about stocks. Hi, this is Anon, and I'm going to talk in a monotone voice. Well, again. Alright. He said the F word, so I trust him. Alright, interesting. I saw 55 when I joined. Yeah, so it couldn't have been capped at 25. I counted 44 at one point. Yeah, it was good info. It was interesting seeing another perspective. Jonathan said, I added more ATER today, but it concerned insiders like... I didn't see any filings. Did you guys see any filings of any selling on Form 4s? I normally get an update for that. I don't think any insiders were selling today. Okay. Oh, you know what? Here, I'm going to feature you. So tomorrow we need to close above 220 on Aterian. So not 242, but 220. Interesting. Take Q1's. It could be good if I put an extra E in there. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'll cover APRN if you want. Was it Blue Apron, whatever one? We'll cover that later. I didn't really understand a lot of it. Okay, so I think what we need to do is we need to figure out a way for you guys to start asking the right questions. So, like, if there's something you don't understand, because obviously, like, I have enough experience where I actually, you know, when I'm listening and talking to them, we have a certain base level of knowledge where I don't feel like that's not necessarily everyone. So I don't want stuff to go over your heads, and that's the whole reason I started the Discord, and it's the whole reason I talk to you guys every night, is so we can kind of sort out and figure out things together, and then you guys can, you know, have a better knowledge of how all this stuff fits together. And I think one of the key things for us is going to be, you know, let's get smart money in here. Let's talk to smart people that know what they're talking about, and let's become better traders, do, you know, the right things. And, you know, I want to see retail win. I want to see, you know, I told these guys that were, you know, Adam and Alec, I was like, if you guys honestly will treat retail right and do the things the right way and not try to basically make money. Like, I'm fine with them making money. I'm happy that they're charging 50 cents per things if they're not receiving money for taking orders against us. Like, I know for a fact my brokerage takes the other side of my trades, and that happens across many brokerages. And the fact that they're selling our stop losses, they're selling our limit orders, all that information to have quote unquote free trades, that's not good for retail traders, because they'll stop us out just because they can. And they took the other side of the trade when doing it, so they make even more money. Like, that's when you incentivize brokers to basically profit off retail losing. That's not a good and healthy, sustainable way. And that's the reason why the market is the way it is right now. And we need more people like those guys who are willing to do the right thing. Because I'll go over and I'll scream it from the rooftops if they do it the right way. I'll be their biggest advocate, and I have no stake in their company. I have nothing like that. I'd love to get stake in their company, but at this point right now, I have they're not offering me anything. I don't get anything from them. I just wanted to be able to talk to Smart Money and see what happens. So, all right. So we want to get you up to speed there, John, and we want to get everyone up to speed on that. So, all right, I'm going to get some pizza. I'm going to let my walls listen to Anon. Thanks, Random. All right, so Dan K says, Anon, I haven't caught the past live streams. We've covered, that was the apron question. Yeah, I'll definitely cover that. I'm celebrating today. I finally hit 10,000 shares of Aterian. Oh, congrats, man. I was going to say, I hope all of a sudden this thing runs and you make a ton of money. Yeah, that was pretty amazing, right, Becca? Like, I mean, my goal is I want to make sure that everyone in here and that hangs out, like, listen, there's only 37 of us in here right now, and that's fine. I'm not a huge streamer. I'm not a big YouTuber, but I think there are people that will benefit from, learning about how the inside the market works. And if we get these guys to come back once a week, and we can talk to them, or even bi-weekly, and check in with them and try to learn how all the plumbing works, that's going to make us better too. So we want our apology written on crayon. Why won't you do that again, Tommy? All right, so Becca will eat the crayons through donkey. Wait, what? Becca will eat the crayons through donkey. She'll eat the crayons though donkey. All right. Maybe it was their mic or their speakers. Snocks. Okay, we'll get to Snocks soon. All right, I hope the stocks stay down nice and low for me to buy more. Yep, me too. I need to average down. I did buy about 302. So if you saw an order for 302, that's what I could afford today. I get paid tomorrow. So HG Trading, what's up, Ann? How we doing, peeps? We're good, man. We're doing good. I mean, obviously, the market's in such a weird place right now. I mean, like, this thing's just whipsawing, and like, these big moves throughout the day, like, I think everything's going down soon. That's personally the way I'm looking at it. I told you guys I think we're going to fill those gaps on the SPY down at the 340s, and I'm anticipating that. So, Facebook conference call. Yeah, we could do that. Or Zoom. Yeah, we can definitely do that too. I mean, obviously for Zoom, I have to set up obviously an Anon account, because my Zoom is in my name, and I couldn't do that on the fly. So that's the reason why we didn't start with Zoom. But I can go ahead and make an account or something like that. Discord is like reading Chinese for me. Yeah, trust me, I didn't do much better on that. So we're strawberry busy doing Durst. So Bitcoin dipped under 20K again a few minutes ago. When am I supposed to buy it, right? Tom, you said I got to wait till like 16 or 17? I've held off buying it because you told me that it was going to go lower, so I'm waiting. All right, so Aterian's close to 210. The SPY up to 3050. There's no way that holds, right? Well, I think I showed some of you guys this. So I did a calculation out, and if they really want to push it down, right, they have something that they can go for, which is based off of all this information that we have. They can, let me find it. Man, there's so many comments here. All right, where is it? Almost there. I'm going back in time. I think I wrote it around 5:30, roughly around then. So I'm at 6. Man, all of us talk a lot in here. Okay, so what I did was I took the amount of shares outstanding. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. So right now, the current assets, which is, I'll just bring this whole thing over so you can see. So right here, this is how much is in current assets off the last 10Q, right? And then you divide that by the shares outstanding, and that would give you a 181 current asset price for the stock. So if you wanted to cut out some of the fluff, right, because many balance sheets have what are called, like, there's, I guess you call them Goodwill, or you call them, like, so how do you value, for example, Amy, like the AI software? Like, there's probably some fluff in that, right? Because, like, let me type in 10Q for Aterian, and we'll pull up the balance sheet so you guys can look at it. But I just want to show you guys kind of like what I typically am looking for, and then we can kind of go over the stuff from there. Let me just pull it up real quick. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look right here and say current assets, right? So current assets are your cash, your accounts receivable, net, your inventory, and your prepaid and other current assets. And that gives you your right there, right? So you take that number divided by 68 million, which is the shares outstanding. This is obviously older, so, but you take that, and that would give you a price of 181. So could we go down past 210? Sure, yeah, we could. This is where if you go below 181, it all of a sudden gets super unreasonable, because what ends up happening is you are then below your current assets, which are like hard assets. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that would be, really aggressive, because you're basically, that's liquidation prices. Like, that's like the company's not going to, you would actually make more money on the company going under and them liquefying everything if the price goes under there. So now, sure, you could probably discount some inventory if you don't think you'll get full value for it, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So, all right, so yeah, so there is a possibility that ATER can go to the all-time low, I think, is 142, but at 142 that would give the stock, I believe, something like a 70 or 9, I can't remember if it was 70 or 90 million market cap, which, I mean, just the inventory alone is 63 million. So, like, between inventory and cash, not including the 10 million that's accounts receivable, you'd be looking at, that would be super, super aggressive. So let's say we take, because, I just want to show you. So they're listed assets, which includes goodwill and intangibles, is listed right now at 31350. And we have, let's say we get down, or let's divide it by 68. Yeah, so your book value is around like 4 something, right? And then if you were to take, let's take out real quick. Just looking through what we can take out as far as like anything fluff wise. But did everyone understand what I was talking about though when the FTD? Yeah. So like, here's the thing: there's no FTDs right now on Aterian. So they have enough shares circulating again. Like we saw that because the utilization dropped down. So we're not going to see a ton of FTDs at this point right now, Earthium, unless all of a sudden while we're down here, they're shorting a ton and there's not a ton more shares and retail starts buying again. So later's all time to pour a drink. Why don't you pour a drink and hang out with us, GW? That's what I did when I was talking to Adam and Alec. All right, have a good night. So anyway, you guys are funny. You got so many things going in here. All right. Okay, what's up with all the new ENDP news? What's going on? Everyone keeps saying cash tender offer, bankruptcies, like Revlon. All right, let me see if there's any news on that real quick. But yeah, like for, could we see below 210? Yes, that's possible because the current asset value, if you go below 181 on Aterian, that would be really greedy of the shorts, and that would mean that those levels are liquidation levels, and the company at this point is not going out of business. Therefore, those are really, really cheap shares. Like, you can only do that on small caps that are, like, you can't do that to regular size companies. But on these small caps, they only have to spend like $20 million to basically just completely ruin them. And that's cheap. So, that's a problem with this market. They can just bully things wherever they want. And then, I don't see any on INDO. Maybe you guys can find the links for me because I don't see... Yes, if someone go find me, what's this ENDP news? I don't see anything on any news articles or. Do you guys see it? All right. All right, cool. So if you guys can find me the links to those things about the cash tender offer or the bankruptcy, I don't see it. I didn't see anything that came through. I set a limit order on Aterian today. Couldn't resist buying 500 shares at 217. Average of 368. Nice. I was going to say, jealous of your average. I'm trying to get down there myself. I was only able to pick up 302, but I bought them at 321, or sorry, not 221, because I was being impatient, and I was just like, I'm not gonna. I didn't have time to trade, so I just saw the stock had dropped, and I was like, I'm gonna buy. We finished 221 or 220, so I'm basically even on those, but it's weird though. You have 2K subscribers. What's that? I have 2K subscribers? No, I don't. I think it was I don't know. How many subscribers do I have? I don't have 2K subscribers. I have 1.98. And I can tell you guys, and I told people I'd be completely transparent about this YouTube thing. People seem to think that I have right now 1984 subscribers. So if anyone out there has... My monthly revenue from YouTube is $79. I don't even mind. I'm just gonna show you guys. I don't think I'm giving away anything here. Look, I just screenshot that. Like, over the past 28 days, I'll make $79 on YouTube, and that's including the super chats and all that stuff that you guys give me sometimes. So like, and they take, I believe, something like 50% of those, if I remember correctly. So I don't make a ton of money YouTubing, or even on the Patreon. Everyone stopped donating for the most part. I mean, there's some people that are still out there doing it, but a lot of people cut their thing after Aterian went down. So yeah, I don't make a ton of money doing this. Just throwing it out there for you guys. I did this basically because people had asked me to, and I keep doing it. And you know, if you break that down, I spend about, what I would say, about an hour and a half each night with you guys. Is that about right? Hour and a half. And we do that, what, like 5 days a week, roughly? So I'm spending about, like, I don't know, 7.5 to 8 hours with you guys. So if I do, what is that? 79, 55 divided by 8 hours. I'm making about $9.94 an hour with you guys. So, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, for all the people that think I'm somehow breaking it in on YouTube, I'm definitely not. it, yeah, it's like $10 an hour, which is not even minimum wage. But, you know, it's extra money, so that's great, and I'm appreciative of it. But, yeah, I don't make it. It's $4. It's $4 ATERs an hour. Unfortunately, that's true. I would rather it be $1 ATER an hour, but we have to get the stock price up that high. But yeah, like I mean, there's somebody on Reddit right now, and he's been like, you know, you're disgusting. You're making all this money on retail, and I'm like, I'm really not. I come on here mainly just hang out with you guys and chill and talk stock. And if you can learn stuff, and I can learn stuff from you, that's great. You know, the whole goal was just to build a community around trading, that we could be there for each other, and you know, I can share what I can, and people can, you know, show me what they're, you know, looking at, and we kind of go from there, and hopefully become better traders. And that's kind of how it's always been. And even though, you know, I'm extremely unpopular right now, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And Wendy's pays better part time. Yeah, and I guess I should just go behind the dumpster at Wendy's, right? All right, so let's go read your questions. All right, so let me get back up here. All right, so Snacks, blah, blah, blah. What's up, AG Trading? Becca, the green ones are my favorite random. Green is actually my favorite color also. All right, so the app is calling for good chats. If you have time beforehand, try to do a couple test runs going live. OBS can be a pain sometimes when it comes to different audio channels coming through. Yeah, I was getting echo on it before, and it just wasn't working, so I was trying to figure out how to, like, stop that. We'll figure that out, though. Let's see. BPT. BPT. Is this it? Okay, so it's looking like a bit of a double top here. Why do you want to look at BPT? What's going on with them? BPT. So, not heavily owned by institutions. It's oil and gas. Market cap of about 479. I don't see anything. They announced a record date and a payment date for distribution to unit holders of the first quarter. So they're going to release a dividend, it sounds like. So Susquehanna owns a lot of them, followed by Simplex, Advisor, Jane Street. They don't own that much. Like it's only like it's less than 4% of their entire stuff. How they do on their? They like kill it or something? They kill earnings or something? What's going on here? They've got $6 million in cash, right? Or cash equivalents, royalty revenues. All right, Fish, why are we looking at this? Let me know. What call center are you located in? None of them, unfortunately. I probably make more money on those. I mean, all right. So, Fish, let me know why we were looking at that one. I mean, all right. John asks, "Is there any chance this will run?" Which stock checker? Aterian? Yeah, I mean, like Aterian, like I've showed you guys in the past. We went. So what I think's happening right now is they are trying to get the stock down below 220. And the reason why they're doing that, and I think I'm going to give a shout out to, I think it's Rake Mishma, in the Discord. He said, last time I calculated the Goodwill impairment will start below 151 million in market cap for Aterian, based off the current outstanding shares of 68,989,791 shares. That equates to the shares equivalent is 2.196 share price. So we need to close above 220 tomorrow, or else it's going to go ahead and hit the impairment. So what I think what they've done is they basically have pushed this down to this level because they are trying to hit a Goodwill impairment. And if you guys don't know what that is, basically when you acquire a company or you merge with a company and you pay more money than what's listed on that company's balance sheet, the difference becomes what's called goodwill. And so what they do with that is they incorporate that in there, but it's based off of kind of like an equation, which is you take your share price and your market cap, and then you compare it to the previous one, and then they basically impair it off that. If you want to learn more about that, you can look into accounting stuff because that's how it works. The last time I had to cover that, honestly, was in my accounting class, but I do understand like the concept of it. So basically, what you do is it changes your earnings per share if you have a goodwill impairment. So if you actually go through how all this works, they can make the earnings, if they keep the price at 219 or below, they'll make the earnings look worse than they actually are. And that's how they're going to try to I would expect some crazy amount of pressure to keep it under 219, 220 tomorrow. So, and do you think we'll have a rally to 400, then retrace down to 340? I mean, it's possible because, I mean, what would burn the most, like, retail traders? Like, yeah, if you had a huge spike up to, like, 400 up here in the Ichiko cloud and then just tanked, yeah, you'd probably burn a ton of people who are, and you'd freak them out because they're like, okay, I guess this is the reversal. Whenever you see these drastic moves, right? So when the SPY was just free falling, right? You just all these days, you had a couple green days, all these days, all these couple green days, all these days. By the time you get down here, you're like, oh my God, I'm so bearish. The whole market's going to fall apart. So what do? They start running it the other way, and then you go, well, I guess this is it. That was the bottom, right? And then boom, they push it down even more, right? And now we're coming back up again, right? And so every time it's like a rug pull. So when we start going up and up and up and up, if this, happened, if you figure this out, like, we actually got up to like 400, right? So we got up to about here. Everyone would be like, oh my God, we've had all these green days, things must be changing, and then just rug pull. Like, that's how I would go down. It just whipsawing back and forth, just tricking retail each and every day, making people doubt, sell for, this is just a volatile market. So, there's some crazy recent news came out about ENDP. Does anyone know what's going on? Yeah, I don't. I didn't see anything when I Googled it, so. Yeah, so Jay, I don't know anything. If you guys can figure out what's going on, I have no idea what's going on with that stock, and I didn't see anything that was like a red flag. If I could find the article that you're referencing, then maybe I could figure it out. But all right. Yeah. So some people are researching. It looks like 1.98. Yeah. Buy some coffee with it. Yeah. They're probably skimming your tips. Yeah, from what I understand, they take half your tips on YouTube or something like that. I don't know. 36 shares of ATER for my streaming efforts. Yeah. Some people say you're working at a hedge fund or for Aterian. So, if I worked for a hedge fund, do you guys really think I would be sitting here every single night streaming for $78 a month? Does that make a whole lot of sense? Probably not. Do you think I'd be stupid enough to actually be on YouTube streaming? That would be straight up collusion. I'm just a retail investor. So, yeah. It's a trust, not supported on Robinhood. Strange. Okay. His real name is Habib Anon Allah. Thanks, man. Been a while. Hope all is well. Still ATER long. Warrants in September still in play. Yeah, so, all that's going to happen, basically, is you're going to see the float increase another... Now, here's the thing. So those warrants aren't exercisable until 320. So they would still have to come up $1 right here to even exercise those warrants. So, the price will have to go up to that level minimum for them to touch those warrants. So, get your average down to 320. You'll be break even at the warrant price. Big Lots looks ripe for squeeze. Go shopping. Yeah, I've seen them before. We'll take a look at them. So if the impairment happens, all that means is the earnings report will look worse than before, or not than if it weren't there. Because basically what it will do is it will change the earnings per share. Like last time during the conference call, there was a huge drop in after hours, and it went down like 20% or something like that, and then tanked the next day until people realized that, oh wait, their earnings per share wasn't as bad as it was, it looked initially, because they had to basically report out the, and Devil actually caught this. He was the guy that said, wait a second, these guys basically pushed down the price just so they could make this, get the Goodwill impairment going. So, All right, so they get beef with the buy button. All right, I bet you $20 ATER doesn't see 3 this year. I think it sees 3 this year. I'll bet you that $20. You can throw it in YouTube so they can take half of it. All right. Yeah, it's making you literally cents an hour, taking advantage of retail. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't work for any financial institution or Aterian. I have no connections except for I write them, and they sometimes will give me information when I ask them questions. So, so I looked into it, and they're running off of a Roe v. Wade news because they have a non-hormonal contraceptive. Okay. Wait, I don't see anything about bankruptcy. They have a crazy balance sheet, though. 1.5 billion cash, 1 billion in liabilities, and lose 70 million a quarter. Sent to on your Discord. Okay, hold on. Drug maker Indo faces bond decision as creditors mold bankruptcy. So Indo International PLC, the latest drug maker impaired by the opioid lawsuits, must decide whether it will skip 90 million in interest payments as it contemplates potential bankruptcy filings. The company has been discussing its options with creditor groups that have conflicting views over the best path leading to the lawsuits over its America's opioid epidemic and mounting debt load and dimmed outlook for the best-selling drug. What were they making? Okay, so Umbrella Academy is a great series. I've actually watched the first 2 seasons, so I did like it. I haven't seen the new one yet because I come down here and stream. But my wife was actually watching it when I last saw her, so let's see. All right. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I did figure out the PEI thing. If you guys remember, I was at the end of yesterday. I just want to mention this. You guys were trying to figure out what was going on with this, and I said, wait, how could they have like 15 million shares short on a stock that only has 4 million shares outstanding? We did find out they did a 15-to-1 reverse split. So they used to have 53 or 59 million shares, and then if you divide that by 15, you get basically like 3.99 or something like that. So that's their 4 million shares. But you have to also do that for any shares that are shorted. So you actually take that 15 million and then you divide it by 15, because that's a 15-to-1 split. So you have 1 million shares shorted against a 4 million share float, giving you 25%. So yeah, so that 300% short is not correct. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, let's see. Box D. Let's take a look real quick on Box D. And yeah, so I know some of you guys want to know about ATER. We did talk about that a little bit earlier, but so Aterian will move at some point. It's just a matter of when. This is a stock that obviously is highly manipulated, and this run that we had right here, there was no news. There was no So what we found out was this day right here was the 31st, right? So I can't. I guess I could zoom like this. So this was the 31st, right? So this was the last day they needed to have the stock price at the time under, like, I think it was 340 something, and this day we closed around like 340. Whatever they did, they got it exactly. The next day was an OPEX, so options expiry, and then once they didn't, once they got the stock price down to this level, when I put a purple line there, they then were fine with covering some, because they pushed it down for a reason. They needed to get the stock below that price so they could hit that Goodwill impairment, and that's right here on this date. So they were able to do that, and then they could take their foot off the throat. So can you post that in Discord, Dirty? And on your charts hurt me. Yeah, they do. They are not great. I need to figure out a better way of, like, for me, I'm fine with them. I can read them, but, like, I know they're probably not aesthetically pleasing. You know what we can do? We can pull up here. But, you guys remember, we hit 210 here. We could go slightly lower, but we will get another pop-up at some point, so you should set the preset so you can actually see the charts and switch from having all the indicators on. Yeah. What's in the Discord? What in the Discord? ENDP. Oh yeah, that was the one, right? Because we looked into it, but they have the opioid thing. Dirty, did you post it in there? Alright, so given the vest. So they think they're going to have a problem paying the $40 million that they owe in the bond. Interesting. All right. It's all on the main trading floor. Okay. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Sorry, they wanted me to take off the temporary mod rules. All right, so main trading floor, it's all on there. Cool. So, yeah. My bad, thanks, on. So let's say wheel comes in tomorrow, managed to keep ATER above 220. Would that be devastating for shorts? Not devastating, because all that's going to happen is the earnings then will, look better than, if it weren't there. But, I mean, they typically push the stock down on earnings no matter what, across the board. It doesn't even matter about Aterian. It's, like, literally across the board, because most retail doesn't really understand how all this works anyway. So, just throwing that out there. Because they see earnings come out, right? And then they see the stock drop. So they assume it was bad, no matter what happens. Whether it was amazing or if it was, like, horrible. They just assume the price going down means that, something wrong must have happened. I believe we'd have to break 250 to be hurtful for them. 242 is the minimum for keeping Goodwill. Well, that's what I thought before random, but apparently Rick Kishram on the Discord said he calculated it at 220. So it's possible. I mean, I could be wrong. So I mean, he's actually pretty good with the math stuff. So 220, he's saying. You know what I think I did? Somehow I think muted someone or something, and sorry, I'm still trying to figure out all this stuff. I do feel like a grandpa now. I think I gotta learn how all this stuff works. All right. We're going to rip when things look the worst. Yeah, basically, if you remember last time, I just want to point this out. So, if some of you guys remember this, 210 right here, right? We hit 210 this day, and this, I mean, we went from like, what was it, 240s down all the way to 210 at its low point. That was the spring. People were losing their minds. Like, I mean, we're talking about like doom and gloom, despair. And we're starting to get that again. So that usually tells you about where, you know, where you're gonna be. So when everyone else is like, that's it, I can't do it anymore, start selling, that's when the stock will probably go up. Like, that's the truth. That's how these things work. Like, all right, let's see. Yeah, when everyone else is freaking out and like, you know, that, and you know, when bulls become bears, that's when reversals happen. And when bears become bulls, that's when reversals happen. Like it's just how it works. Because they know human psychology so well. Like they know that down here nobody was looking for anything. It was just horrible. Everyone's, you know, like just, and then we'd run up here. And when we're up here, nobody wants to sell. Everyone wants to keep buying, 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 and then they get us, you know, like this is how they do it. But yeah, we are more confident than before. Like we know that this thing can bounce. You know, once we were here and we came all the way down for all those months, just months and months and months, and we'd have like these slight like glimmers of hope, and then would go down even further, and people would just go, "Oh my God, this is, you know, the stock went down." It felt like every day was a red day for like months at a time, right? And then out of nowhere, we get that 140 million in volume. So, my point is, you know the stock's manipulated. You know you're going to go ahead and you're going to see, you know, this huge amount of bleeding, and then you're probably going to see a spring and an aggressive move up. And no one will believe it until it keeps running, and then they go, oh, well, maybe there is something to this, and then I won't be such an idiot anymore. But, you know, the stock can move. It can bounce. What were the other tickers you guys wanted to cover? APRN, right? So, let's see. They had it's down 6% day. They had a nice little run up. Probably stop loss hunt is my guess there. That's what they were doing. They stop loss hunted. Also to cool off the RSI a bit. You could see another day like that. Maybe try to hit some more stops. And then let's see what they're looking at. Make sure there's no glaring flags on APRN. They do have dilution. I think this is the one with the warrants at 15, 18, and 20. And there are about roughly 10 million shares of it for warrants. But those are higher up, so it's not really at risk right now. It's 11.14 million. I can show you guys this. So on Dilution Tracker, they have 11.14 million warrants that they can issue out. Their cash flow, they've got about 5 months of cash left based off their current cash burn. Here are your warrants at 15, 18, and 20, the biggest amount being at 15. So, yeah. I mean, it looks like it's good. All right. Real quick, Box D. Let's take a look. Box D has a good amount of dilution on the table. You've got an equity line of credit at 15 million. You've got convertible notes at, where are they at, $12, and you have warrants at $11.50 for both of them. They're SPAC warrants from the pipe. All right, so you got about 3% short interest on Box D. Institutions own about 38 or 37%. So it's not like a hugely shorted stock, but they do have dilution on the table, but they can get pumped. I don't recognize a lot of these names. Palantir bought into them, it looks like. So, interesting. They are an e-commerce enabler. Bulk pantry. Consumables. Okay. Verdu. All right, so 72 million float. You've got 24% institutional ownership. You've got 27.6% short interest. Looks like not a ton of dilution. Looks like just a quick equity line of credit. They've got 50 months of cash left, so that's good. There's their equity line of credit, and there's their shelf. But overall, it looks fine. Doesn't have a huge cash need. They do have the ability to offer, but that's not too bad. Carl says Box D's borrow rate is... What? Okay, so you want me to pull up Vortex. Yeah, I actually own a small amount of Fifey. I don't know how to say it. Let me just look up this Box D for Carl real quick. Box D for him. Alright, so I see a cost to borrow around 208. Let's see what it looks like on Fintel. Alright. Box D short interest is... I mean, they still have short shares available, but you're right. They did climb up to 400% cost to borrow, which is weird because it looks like they have shares. What's going on there? Is there any other news to this? I don't. And they're higher up on the gamma score. Do they just have a tiny float or something? Like, shares outstanding is 68 million, free float's 50. What's their institutional ownership look like? Institutions own 26 million shares. I don't understand why their cost to borrow so high. Doesn't make any sense. But they clearly are. I looked two different sources. They both had the same thing. So, yeah. I don't know why that is on BoxD. That's a little bit strange. Yeah, I don't see a reason why you would have 400% cost to borrow based off of what I'm looking at. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, like 90 I could see. I don't know why it's 400%. Like, that's very strange considering they have shares like to borrow. Like, why are, like, it doesn't even show them being like institutions owned, a ton of that. Yeah, very, very strange. Keep an eye on it. I mean, obviously it's curling up right now, but it looks like it's being pushed back down. I mean, I'm just reading through. I mean, obviously they're not profitable. That's fine. Half these companies aren't, but I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, yeah, don't know. Here we'll cover Fife and then DTC. Oops, not that. Come on. Okay, Faraday futures, right? So I had bought these guys, I think on this day, and I've been holding them. They actually had a decent day today. They had like an 8% day, and the rest of the market was kind of just choppy. So I'm not sure why these guys are starting to move up, but we did flag them as something to possibly, yeah. And they have a large float, but I mean, it was just one of those. It's hard to borrow, and there's some things going on with the stock liquidity wise that I'm not sure what's going on. So, but yeah, I took a small flyer on this one, and I think it could go up. Yeah, keep an eye on the other one too, Carl, for me. Let me know if you see something weird. I'd like to figure out why it's 400% cost to borrow when there should be plenty of shares. Alright. And then we were doing DTC, right? I need to go to bed soon. Alright. DTC. Okay. So these guys, once again, instead of doing the W, right, because we thought they may come down here, do this, then come up here, and then make that W, they're going right now in continuation of kind of like this like consolidation period. So like All right, Dave asked, do you still think Aterian will break out to the upside by your August time frame? Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. So, just to go back, I'll get back to DTC in a second. What you're looking at right now is it's kind of in this downtrend, and we will probably push down. I could see us pushing down to maybe like, it would probably be like out here, like this level. Yeah, it's very possible that that could happen. But no matter what, it's going to bounce at some point. The question is just when. Are they going to do it when the warrants happen so they can push up the price and then start exercising them? They need to get it to at least 320 just to get the warrants, unlockable. So, but I think if I remember correctly, DZ saw us running up to possibly like 4 something on the next wave up. So we will see. But yeah, I do think it can happen. At this point right now, it really depends on the overall market. Like if the overall market starts ripping, and yeah, we could definitely see more algo buying, and if they decide that recession over or not, in their minds they're going to say recession over, everything's great. Whether or not it's actually true or not, that would be good there. Tarifa said he's bullish in August. Oh, there you go. I mean, they do have an earnings coming out there. All right, DTC. I'm just scratching my back with a wrench because I didn't have a back scratcher, so close enough for government work. All right. So I was saying that we thought that we might see a W here. It's kind of breaking down right now, but it's really just the volume's died again. Like every time we get like very little volume, we get days like this where it's just kind of like flat and it doesn't really do anything. Like it wasn't even a ton, shares traded today. It's pretty low, right? It's under 1 million shares. So for me personally, I like this stock long. So I think they're going to get movement at some point. You get insiders buying. You have a pretty small float that's like pretty much owned by institutions. So yeah, I know it says 94 million, but that's basically the A's and the B's together. So, and B's typically aren't traded. All right. I'm going to do this, guys. I've been talking for a while now. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Do you guys, I think we were pretty much good there. We're down to 30-something people anyway, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you're not part of the Discord, if you enjoyed this, today was a little bit more disorganized than I normally am, because normally I just go straight into the stocks. But in this case, we did the other stream with the co-founders of Optionality, so it kind of changed things up for how this evening went. So I'll try to do a better job of going on tomorrow and actually covering more stocks in depth. But this was just kind of at a glance tonight to see if there's any issues. So you guys all take care of yourselves. This is a tough time in the market. But yeah, I mean, make sure if you need to step away from a computer and stop watching for a little bit, I totally get it. And, you're going to see a lot of choppiness. So just be careful, guys. Just remember, nothing is permanent as far as this goes. Like, these stocks, look at this. Like, I mean, Box D was in a free fall. Like, every day just worse and worse and worse. We're just making new lows. And they'll come up at some point, and they'll recover, and they'll be fine probably. So, all right. It was a fun conference. Good night. Thanks, Alpha Chad. Thanks, John. Thanks, Dirty. Thanks, Random. Michael, appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. You guys have a wonderful evening. Goat. All right.